children of St. Mira schools, my dear brothers and sisters, it is such a joy to be in your midst once again. I always look forward to a meeting of this type, when I can come and meet the little ones. For as was told you a little while ago, I too am a little one. I always think of myself as a little one. Today, as you know, we are met together to celebrate birth anniversary of our revered founder, Sadhu Vaswani. Sadhu Vaswani was at once a seer, a sage, and a saint. Do you know the difference between a seer and a sage? And the difference between a sage and a saint? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between a seer, a sage, and a saint? May I tell you the difference between a seer and a sage and a saint? A seer, as the word implies, is one who can see. He can see into the future. He will be able to tell you what is going to happen. He will warn you. He will caution you. A seer is one who can see into the future. Sadhu Vaswani could see into the future. He told us many things which are turning out to be true now. I remember how in the year 1921, there was a press conference, and at the press conference the question was asked of Sadhu Vaswani, do you think freedom is coming to India? In those days they used to have the freedom movement, the non-cooperation movement which was launched by Mahatma Gandhi. Sadhu Vaswani was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi in this movement. And the question was asked of him, do you think freedom is coming to India? Sadhu Vaswani said, in those days, he said, freedom is coming to India as sure as the sun rises in the east. Freedom is coming to India as sure as the sun rises in the east. But my one anxiety is that when freedom comes, may the people not be found wanting. And that is what we find today. Freedom has come to India, but we don't have the right type of people to take charge of the administration. That is why we have corruption wherever you go. The entire administration today is honeycombed with corruption. So, as I told you, a seer is one who can look into the future and who will be able to tell you what is going to happen in the future. And who is a sage? A sage is a man of wisdom. He is a wise one. He is a man to whom many come to seek his advice. He is a man of wisdom. And who is a saint? A saint is a man of holiness. His life is holy. You look at him and you think of God. A saint is a godly person. Now, will you remember this difference? A saint is a holy person, a godly person. A sage is a man of wisdom. A seer is one who can see into the future. All these three things were combined in Sadhu Vaswani. Sadhu Vaswani was a blend of all these three. He was a seer, he was a sage, he was a saint, and he was a very learned man. As you all know, he worked as principal of three big colleges, one at a time, of course, not simultaneously. He worked as the principal of three big colleges in northern India. Do you remember the names of those colleges? Can anyone tell me what were the name of the colleges of which Sadhu Vaswani was at one time a principal? Oh, I thought he was going to give the answer. Can anyone tell me the names of the 3 colleges of which Sadhu Vaswani was at one time a principal? Can anyone tell me? The first college of which he became the principal was the Dayal Singh College of Lahore. It continues to be a big college even now. The Dayal Singh College was the first college of which he became the principal. Then he became the principal of which college? Victoria College of Cooch Behar. Victoria College of Cooch Behar. And then again he became principal of Mahendra College, Patiala. Patiala. Mahendra College, Patiala. Do you remember? Today we are talking of 3 things. Seer, Sage, Saint. Dayal Singh College, Victoria College, Mahendra College. Will you remember these 3 colleges, the names? Can one of you repeat and tell me? Dayal Singh College, Lahore. Victoria College, Cooch Behar. Mahendra College, Patiala. Now, that's very nice. He was a very learned man. In those days, very few Indians were appointed as principals of colleges. They always appointed some Englishman or the other to come and take charge of the college and work as the principal. But Sadhu Vaswani was one of those few Indians who became principal of these colleges. He was a very learned man. He was an educationist, the founder of the Mira movement in education, of which the Mira school is but one department. Sadhu Vaswani urged that the students should be taught that life is larger than livelihood. Life is larger than livelihood, and that the end of knowledge is not jobs and career, not gains in silver and gold, but the end is service and sacrifice. Knowledge for service. We will grow in knowledge so that we can, in the years of our growing womanhood and manhood, we can become servants of the people, servants of suffering humanity. This was the teaching of Sadhu Vaswani. He said the end of knowledge is not jobs and careers, not gains in silver and gold, but service and sacrifice. Many other things that I could tell you concerning Sadhu Vaswani. The master word of his life was service. One day he visited a temple. In the temple were deities of gold. Deities made of gold. Vishnu made of gold. Lakshmi made of gold. And Sadhu Vaswani said on that occasion, so many gods of gold in the temples. If you will truly worship them, melt the gold and spend it in service of the shivering, the starving gods of this earth. Who are the starving, the shivering gods of the earth? The poor, the broken ones, the neglected ones, the disinherited ones. No one seems to think of them at all. Sadhu Vaswani said it is better that you melt these deities and utilize that gold, the money that you get, in service of the poor and broken ones. Therefore he gave this mantra to the nation, Garibon ki seva hai Prabhu ki puja. Do you want to worship God? Then go and serve the poor. He was a singular saint. He was a singular saint. He was not like saints, so many other saints that we have in India. What made him singular was this: he declared boldly. He said, I do not aspire to mukti. Everyone in India aspires to mukti. Mukti is the highest value of life. Everyone wants to attain to the state of mukti. Mukti, you understand what mukti is? Mukti is liberation from the cycle of birth and death. We are all caught up in the cycle of birth and death. Sadhu Vaswani said, I do not want mukti. I do not want liberation. I will keep on coming again and again to this earth plane. I will come here to serve the people who continue to suffer and are in pain. He is watching you all. He will come for your sake again and again. If you turn to him and tell him, Dada, I want to be free from this cycle of birth and death, he will come and help you. One day he said, there was a dog, a street dog, who used to come every day. Just imagine, a street dog. He was not a pet dog. He was a street dog, but every day he used to come, he used to climb the staircase, come up to his room. I think his room was exactly over this place. I think so, yes. And he used to come to his room and quietly sit underneath the cot on which Sadhu Vaswani slept. The dog would come and quietly sit. He would come and sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and then quietly go away. Never barked. Sometimes the dog used to come to the satsang in this hall. Now it is a big hall. In those days, the boundaries of the hall were limited to a little space. He used to come to the satsang. And Sadhu Vaswani one day, in the satsang also, he used to come and gaze at the beauteous face of Sadhu Vaswani and listen to his upadesh. Then quietly he would go away. Perhaps he was a devotee of Sadhu Vaswani in some earlier birth, and now for some reason or the other he was given the body of a dog. But he was more of a bhakta than any one of us. He used to come quietly, used to come and gaze at the beauteous face of the Master. Sadhu Vaswani one day, pointing to the dog, he said, I would not mind being reborn as a dog, if thereby I can be of some service to someone who suffers and is in pain. I feel grateful to every one of you for the many things that you have offered at the lotus feet of Sadhu Vaswani for the poor and needy. If there is one lesson that the Mira school has to teach its students, it is this. The end of knowledge is service. The end of knowledge is the fulfillment of life is service. The blessing of life is service. Thank you.